Dan Jenkins. I'm a candidate for State House 119 here in Portland, Parkside and Bayside. Well, in Portland, we need a second party. Currently the Democrats controlled, or until recently pretty much had a majority on every ward and every section, so like all the state reps are Democrats and all the states, both Senate state senators and all the city councilors until a couple of years ago, with the exception of one, we're all Democrats. And Portland really badly needed to have contested elections. So the fact that now in Portland we have close races, we have contested elections, people don't get to be elected simply because of the party label next to their name, as had been in the past, is really a good thing for not only Portland, but for democracy in general. I think in the state we do need a third party, as well as in the nation eventually. But we need a third party in the state because the Democratic Party, which had pretty much a majority, at least in the state house, at least in the state house for the last 25 years or so, they've been either in power sharing or in a majority in the state Senate for much of the same time. And some of the time they've had a governor. The governors have gone back and forth. They haven't solved the problem. We've still got some of the oldest housing stock in the nation. We're heavily reliant on heating oil to heat our homes, as is all of the New England area. We need to diversify our energy. We have 130,000 Mainers who don't have access to basic preventative health care. And despite the sort of pipe dream discussion that many of the Democrats seem to have about health care, about changing the system, the fact is they haven't done it. And until we can have real meaningful discussion about issues such as health care and energy in the State House, where we're talking with people who have not accepted any donations from Anthem or Blue Cross and Blue Shield or Aetna, until we can do that, we're not going to have a meaningful discussion about the real reforms in healthcare that we need, and to ensure that every person in the state of Maine has access to care, and make sure that they're healthy.
Sure. Captain Bill Linnell, call me Bill, and I'm running for the State Senate District 8 race, representing most of Portland. If I'm elected, then Portland would have the most powerful seat in the Senate, and I'd be the swing vote on almost every vote. And I think that's great news for Portland. I think we could accomplish things and do something about the paralysis of the State House in terms of the energy non-program. I think the program now, the Blanchi's administration, it seems to have a faith-based energy initiative, and they're waiting until January for the legislature to come back. I've called for the legislature to come back into session as soon as possible and do something to protect the Mainers and Maine households. I've drafted an energy plan which I hope moves forward, which is modeled after the Liberty ships that were built in South Portland in World War II. They built 236 400-foot-long ships with 30,000 workers in 41 months. And so using that 65-year-old example as inspiration, I think we should focus in a similar way and solve the real problem with our heating oil problems by insulating as many houses as possible. And if we embraced that sort of the Liberty Ship plan and that example, we could, with 30,000 workers, we could insulate every single-family household in Maine in 85 days.
I'm Josh Miller, and I'm running for election for State House District 118. And I feel like it's really important to have someone like myself in the House, because I feel like I represent what 118 and what the area really needs, and that's a change. It's younger ideals, and it's just like I'm just open to so many different ideas and so many different directions that we could go in, and I feel like that's really important, and I feel like there isn't enough of that in the House right now.